All right, let's bring on the great Kevin Harlan. TNT tonight, Lakers, Wolves, Game 2 at Crypto.com Arena.
Yes.
We've got your buddy Michael Trudell in here as well with us. He joins us on Laker game days, Kevin. So we've got a big Kevin Harlan fan club in here for you tonight.
Oh, my gosh. I'm honored to be on with all three of you. And, Mike, thanks for the text. And, Scotty, thanks for the invitation. And, George, I'm sure I'll see you in a couple minutes down here courtside.
No, not me, Kevin. I had game 1. I am going home to see the family before my next game. So I will not see you tonight, unfortunately, but I got a little family time today.
Good for you. I got fans yelling at me here. I think they hear me doing the show. I'm on with Sedano and Scott and Trudell. Make sure they all know.
Hey, but Kevin, but make no mistake, I will come down and bother you tonight for sure.
Good. I want another picture. That'd be good. I'd like that. Hey, I'm on the air here. Stop it. Oh, my God, these people. Like, what is going on? People are hyped for this game, man. They're ready to go.
Understandable. I mean, to lose game 1 the way the Lakers did at home, especially the way they came out looking in the first quarter, only to get smacked down in the second and never really compete in the second half. Kev, what do you think about tonight's game? How does it change for the Lakers if it can?
Well, we'll find out. You know, Minnesota doesn't really play as well when they got an advantage in a series. We saw it last year in the second round against the champion Denver Nuggets, and they won the first 2 games, lost 3 in Minnesota, had to come back and win on the road. But Minnesota, I thought, was the worst matchup for the Lakers. They're just different. They got the best bench, I think, of any team in the playoffs right now. They're 3 deep there. And, you know, you have an 9-man rotation in the playoffs. Lakers did not get that third score the other night. LeBron didn't even play all that great from a scoring standpoint, but he's always a factor, clearly. Doncic has had a series of successful games against Minnesota, whether playing with the Mavs or the Lakers. But they need more. They need Finney-Smith, and they need Gabe, and they need other guys to contribute, and that might be the key for this series. Can the Lakers find the others to get in there to help the 2 main or 3 main guys like Minnesota's getting every night? When they're 5-some screwed up, they go to the bench and they find a good combination, and that is why they've won 17 of their last 21 coming into this series. They've got the bench, they've developed it, and they got a team that I think is kind of wired in on how to get at the Lakers. They've got length. They play a high-speed game, which they began in December, and it's carried on through that once they incorporated Julius Randle, and they're really playing at the very peak of their play right now. This is the best they have played all season long, and bad timing for the Lakers. I looked at a statistic today, and Mike knows as well, and anybody that follows the Lakers. I was surprised that the effect of Doncic has not been greater when paired with LeBron. Mike, am I right? 15-8 is their record when together. We just left Houston the other night, and we did Golden State Rockets game 1. And with Butler and his addition to Golden State, they're 24-7, including the play-in win, and now 25-7, including the first game win against Houston. DeAndre Hunter goes to Cleveland. They've been lights out since they've had him. He's been a terrific addition, and he comes off the bench now. And then the other big move clearly was the Doncic one, which was the one everybody talked about. But the results have not been, I don't think they began well, but it's not been as great, I don't think, as people had thought. And I think we need to see that really kind of click in here so that we get the full feel of what this match of LeBron and Luka is all about.
Yeah, Kevin, it's a great point. I think the only qualifier for me was when LeBron missed those 2 weeks in March and Hachimura was out for part of it. When he came back, there were a couple games for the ramp up where he wasn't quite to his full capability yet, and the team wasn't playing that well. It was that road trip right in Chicago. They lost the game when the Giddey buzzer beater. But aside from game 1 and then the Warriors game at home, they've really played very well as a group. And so I think that I'm trying to just look past that game 1, as you see so many times in these series, Kevin. Sometimes game 1 is a bit of a feel-out game. I think tonight we're going to get the Laker team that we've seen sort of at their peak. And again, you've called so many series, you know that better than almost anybody.
No, you're right, Mike. And I know that we're gonna see the best of what the Lakers have tonight. Reeves will play better. Dorian Finney-Smith will play better. Hachimura in the last, 6 playoff games, I think has averaged only 8 points. They need to get that double-digit game out of him. I mean, a lot of things have got to collide here, but what better leader do you have than LeBron and a guy to shift on the move? I think they'll play well. I still don't like this matchup for the Lakers in the first round, quite frankly. Minnesota is just a difficult, different kind of team. DiVincenzo did a terrific job on Austin Reeves in Game 1. And I'm sure they're not going to, delineate much from what they did, what they do tonight. Every team will have some new wrinkles, clearly, but this game is pretty important. Not that Minnesota is all encompassing and has got an answer for everything, but if they play like they played in Game 1, which might have been their best game of the season, and they hit the 21 threes, of course, which is just ungodly, and I think they had 9 corner threes, which is huge. This will be tough. So tonight, rarely do you say a game is important, but I think this one tonight feels a little bit more important in a Game 2 situation.
The great Kevin Harlan with us here. Yeah, no question. I mean, you go down 0-2 heading on the road. Only 11% of teams have come back to win the series when they're down 0-2 heading on the road in NBA history. So not great stuff there if you're the Lakers, if you fall behind again in this one. I wanted to ask you about Anthony Edwards. I did the game Saturday, and the more I talked to people before the game about him, he's only 23 years old, Kevin, but I kept hearing so much about his leadership qualities, right? Mike Conley told me the story about how when they drew the Lakers, he was the first one on the group text telling everybody, guys, hey, let's lock in at this time. Let's all watch film together. And, he's matured here as a basketball player recently, and even so much as saying to guys, I don't care if I score 30. If you guys score 30 or 40 and we win and I score 15, who cares? What have you made of him as you've seen him throughout this season off the court as a leader as opposed to what you've seen on the floor, which is obviously incredible?
Yeah, and he's 23, but he's a 3-time All-Star, and he led the league in three-point shots made this season. So, and he's got the gigantic contract. He's checking every box that you need to check. And the leadership role, even the guys that have been around like the Goberts and the Randalls, I think they're a little bit like, whoa, this kid has got a voice and he's got some important things to say. And they've kind of responded to it. He clearly, he's an Olympian. I mean, like I said, he all the individual accolades and successes there. And he was a factor clearly in the team making the Western Conference Finals a year ago. But I just think, when you see a player like that who's special, and you can't put him in any other category, I don't think he is approaching what we think of type players, but he clearly is heading in that direction, and he I think has taken it upon himself to be, along with Conley and Gobert and some of these veteran voices in that locker room, more of a presence. I think he's been asked by the organization to do it. I think he's got the confidence in what he does on the floor to pull it off, so he commands some respect. He's a hard worker. We know that. But Chris Finch told us the other day when we did the double overtime game in Denver that Minnesota beat the Nuggets, he said, really the key for us and what makes everything go is when Conley is right. Now, Mike Conley has had an injury with his wrist, dislocated finger midseason. He admittedly, he's a 37-year-old player, as old as Curry. He's admittedly not had, maybe the scoring numbers, but his shooting has been terrific, and he continues to be the guy that I think always possesses the antidote. Like he's the guy that always can figure it out on the floor. Great extension of the coach. He has taken Anthony Edwards under his wing, and how fortunate. Kevin Garnett had the same thing in Minnesota when he was there with some guys that were in their 30s playing, the Sam Mitchells of the world, and they kind of took Kevin under their wing, and that's what Conley has done with Edwards. He's really tried to guide him and give him a compass as to how to be a pro, how to prepare, how to rest, how to handle all these things both on and off the floor, in a game and out of a game, on the sideline and in practice. And it's paying off. And the loud voice, the impactful voice that he has had, I think is evidence of that.
The great Kevin Harlan will be calling tonight's action on TNT Game 2 of Lakers T-Wolves. Will you be with Reggie?
I am going to be with Reggie. Yep, going to be with Reggie and Taylor Brooks.
Okay,
Taylor Rooks.
Taylor Rooks, yeah.
Or Brooks. Well, you can call it whatever you want. We'll just call her T.
Tell Reggie I say hello. I ran into him. Get this, Kevin, real quick before we let you go. I ran into him at the Delta Lounge at LAX. I was going with my family to Cabo for spring break, and I ran into Reggie. He was going to do a game with you, I believe, either in New York or Cleveland, or maybe both that week, and ran into him. So tell him I send my love, and same to you. I will catch you somewhere soon, I'm sure.
Wait a second. Hold on. One last thing. When you come back next time, Kev, next time you come back, you must judge for us
the dueling Harlans. Sedano and Kaplan.
Because we both take your play-by-play.
Yes.
We both do our own version of your play-by-play.
And you judge who did better.
We need you to be the judge of dueling Harlans.
Yes.
Have you ever been to a dueling piano bar?
Yeah.
You know, this is dueling Harlans.
Right,
Kev.
dueling Harlans. It's the first of its kind.
Oh, you guys, and you guys are still employed doing these kind of ploys during your game. Like,
we're really stealing.
Stunning.
We're stealing money, Harlan. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, good. Oh, no. Listen, I love all three of you, and I'd love to join you in the studio. That'd be fun.
All right. Well, Kevin, have a great broadcast tonight. Have a great broadcast tonight, Kevin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, there he is, the great Kevin Harlan.
So Al Michaels yesterday.
Kevin Harlan today?
Kevin Harlan today. Who do you guys want tomorrow? What legendary broadcaster do you want tomorrow?
I could try Breen, but honestly, it's going to be hard because he's got Knicks too.
All right, just tell us who you want.